There we go. Okay. I can see everyone's the same size now.
Awesome.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to chat with both of you about The Alternate. First of all, congratulations on the film. I absolutely loved it. I was not expecting it to be what it was, and that I was the best part.
Awesome. That's great. I love hearing
That's great. Thank you for watching it too.
Yeah.
And Alrik, this is your feature film debut, correct?
It is. Yeah, first feature.
Nice. You tackled quite a bit with this, being the writer, director, and all that. What kind of compelled you to choose this story as your feature debut?
Oh, well, so I had made a short film years and years ago called Strange Thing that I was trying to turn into a feature film. And, there's an ooze monster in that movie, and basically realized there's just no way I can have that kind of practical and visual effects in a first feature. It's going to be way too expensive. So that movie also has a portal in it and a doorway. And so I was trying to think of like, okay, what's the scariest thing on the other side of the portal or the doorway? Like what could be so scary, like scarier than a monster? And then I thought of like the worst version of myself. Like that's like the scariest thing that I can imagine. It's like the evil, twisted version of me. So then that's sort of where I started with it. And I actually wrote the ending of the movie first. That was like the very first thing that I wrote when I approached the screenplay. And then from there, I kind of went back and figured out how to get to the ending after writing the last 10, 20 pages or so. So I was really kind of inspired by my own life as a creative person, like doing, day jobs type stuff and working in video production, but like not actually being able to work in movies, and then, trying to take that, and imagine like the better version of myself who actually does make movies. And, that was where all Jake came from. And then, just sort of ran with it from there.
Nice. And Jeffrey, what about this project kind of spoke to you enough to kind of come on board?
Well, I was introduced to Allrik. I think it was through my attorney, George Rush, I think introduced us several years ago. And we're both Bay Area people. So I've shot over 20 movies. Very few of them are in the Bay Area. So one of the things that was really what I've really been wanting to do is shoot more in the Bay Area. So this was an opportunity to do that. I really love the script. I haven't done a sci-fi movie before. I've done a lot of horror genre, but nothing sci-fi-ish. So I really thought this would be something interesting and different. And the way it was written, we did this on a fairly modest budget. So I knew we could do it. It was contained, it had 2 basic locations. And I knew we could get it done fairly inexpensively. So I said, yeah, let's give it a shot. We ended up shooting half of it at my house. We converted the garage into a set. And so every time you see the basement, that is my garage during the rainy season, which was a nightmare in itself. And then one of my grade school friends, when you see the interior of the house, that's my buddy's house across town. And we shot it all, I'd say 80% of the 2 houses. And then we used some of our friends' houses for exteriors. One of our PAs, we used her house. And then the 2 or 3 other commercial locations were very nearby. So it was one of the few times I also got to sleep in my own bed, although I had crew members staying at my house too. So that was, I knew to expect that. I knew never to do it, but I did, and it was worthwhile.
That's cool. I could never tell that was a garage. So how did that work, setting up the garage to be both basements?
So it's really a carport. So we had to enclose the front area, and it was raining quite a bit. So we had a lot of rain seeping in, and we had excellent production design on there. Rob Ryuda came in, and he built that imaginary staircase that you would see on the side, which really doesn't exist. And then we shot the scenes basically we shot the real house scene over a 2-week period while my garage is being set up, and we shot the entire basement scene, the alt Jake and the Jake basement scene in a linear fashion. So we reset the garage in one fashion, and then we shot it out in a different way the last week of the shoot.
Cool.
And we, my friend catered. I did some of the cooking. It was really a shoestring budget movie, so we all contributed in numerous ways to get it done.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was really cool about the whole portal aspect of this, well, other than it being a portal, was that it really looked like it was kind of like a CGI practical mix. And like, I couldn't tell what was CGI and what was practical. Can you just comment a little bit on that?
Sure. So when I brought this idea to my cinematographer, Jason Josepher, he was like, we're going to do the portal in camera completely. We're not doing portal with visual effects ever unless we have to. And I was like, okay, all right, sure. And so we came up with this plan, this insane plan where we would have 2 projectors at all times when the portal was on screen. So there'd be a projector that was part of the set, that was like the actual projector they were using to like project the portal in the story. And then we had this massive, huge projector that I got lended to us by a friend of mine. It's like a $20,000 projector or something that we put in the back of the set. And just due to the fact there was a carport, there was this closet space at the back that we were able to kind of hide with the projection screen with some other of the props. And so there's another projector just like popping out from this closet in the back. And that meant that like this 2 projectors had to be lined up perfectly at all times or it wouldn't look correct, because there was no for most of the portal shots there is no visual effects. It's like 90% practical. The only time that it's visual is when we actually pass through into the portal, and then our visual effects supervisor Zeke recreated it to match the portal that was on set, and that's probably like maybe 10 shots in the movie or something like that. So it's really great that we did that way, because if we had to do the portal practically, it would have added like 100 visual effects shots to our budget, which we just obviously we couldn't support. So it was kind of an amazing thing that we were able to pull off, and I think it looks really great in the final movie.
It does. Yeah, like I said, like it looked so practical, and that's what I like to see in movies.
Nice.
It's nice when things like that come together, because that was the plan. I remember like, oh, we're gonna have 2 projectors. We weren't sure how it worked, but it definitely came out in the end with all the portal shots were mostly done practically. So it was pretty awesome. I'll hand it to Jason. He did it. That was a great idea.
What was it like working with Ed and Natalia as both Jake and Chris, but also their alt characters?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I was really lucky with Ed and Natalia. They were both really into the story and to the characters, and they gave me a lot of rehearsal time, which you don't necessarily get on a low budget movie like this. And so we got to work together, I think 3 or 4 days maybe beforehand, where we just talk through characters together and like let them work together, and then like let them ask me questions about the characters. And we really like kind of came up with these 2 different versions of each character for them to play, so they never really thought of them as different versions of the same character. They've kind of thought of them as different people all together. So it's like they were playing 2 completely different characters with like slightly different tones and slightly different ways of speaking, and then even in completely different backstories and goals, you know. And so I think all that work of figuring out who those two people were for each of them really paid off in a big way. And so when we were switching from one scene with one Jake to another Jake, you know, I really almost had to have to do much, like to tell, you know, Ed, like, which, you know, this is the Jake you're playing and this is what's going on. Like he had it all in his head. And, you know, it was actually super impressive just to see him on set go from one Jake to the other Jake, because they do feel so different and they don't feel like the same character. And same for Natalia. And I feel like it just was pretty seamless when we were actually shooting, but that was just because we put all that time into prepping it.
Nice. I thought it was interesting that Jake had a beard, but alt Jake didn't. So
Right.
whose idea was that, and how hard was it to kind of like make sure with continuity and stuff with all that?
Yeah, that was my idea. Maybe not the best idea. I thought it would be really cool to have a bearded version and an unbearded version, and to have that be part of the story, especially early on where he's like trying to hide his beard when he's in one world, you know, and trying to pretend he's this other version of himself. It was, I mean, it was brought up to me multiple times, like, can't they just both be clean shaven? And I was like, nah, it's not as fun. It's just not as cool to have, like, you know, to lose that, because you're basically losing a transformation aspect for regular Jake. Like if you take away the fact that he has to shave his beard off in order to go in and embody the other Jake in the other world, it's like kind of taking this big part of his character development and his transformation into this monster away from him and from the actor. And I felt like it was really important to have that, but it did create a lot of problems because there was multiple scenes where he had to have, you know, a beard and not a non-beard in the same scene, and to like apply the beard and take it off was pretty challenging. We talked about like him growing out a real beard at one point, but we were just like, we don't have the budget or the time to really, you know, account for that. So we're gonna go with a fake beard from the beginning. You know, that's kind of how that all came about. But it was very challenging just to make sure that everything matched. And we actually did some visual effects on the beard to make it look a little bit more seamless in a couple scenes.
That's funny. I would have just scrapped the beard completely. Once it
I tried.
Headache.
I tried. It didn't work. Didn't fly.
Yeah, Jeff was like, please, Allrik, let's just lose the beard. Can we do that? I was, no.
So Jake shaving it off halfway through, was that scripted from the get-go, or was that a compromise between you two?
No, it was always part of the story to have him shave it off halfway, and then that would make our lives easier going forward. Yeah.
So kind of putting you both in Jake's shoes, if you found a portal, would you explore it, or would you just like, nah, I'm good? Like before you even knew that it was to an alternate you.
Well, I would definitely explore it. I mean, I made multiple movies about portals, and I think I would have to, you know, investigate, but I would try to do it like in a very rational, calm way. And I wouldn't do it by myself. I would definitely bring my wife into the mix and do it together, which is, you know, not the way that the characters in my movies normally do things. They just do them by themselves.
If I had the guts, I probably would explore it, but then I'd really bring in professionals, like his wife said, let's get the scientific community involved. That's probably what I would have done.
Yeah. I liked the part where he just kind of like stuck his head out, and then when he was caught in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I would just like look in and then be like, okay, I'm good. I'm done.
Exactly. Me too.
So before I let you go, how can readers kind of like connect with you or support you? Do you both have social media?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, so it's an open Instagram account, Jeffrey Allard, and they can follow me. And our movie is coming out. I don't know if you've announced it, but it's September 6th. So that's how they can see the movie. It'll be on all digital VOD platforms.
And you can buy the DVD if you want. And we've got commentary tracks, deleted scenes, all these special features on the DVD if you want to go that way, or you can just rent it or buy it. Yeah, through all the digital channels. And then I'm also on Instagram, Alrik Bursell. You can find me on there really easily. And then the movie is on Facebook and on Twitter. We do have an Instagram account. It's just not that active right now, but if you just follow one of us, you'll find everything about the movie. I also have a podcast about filmmaking called Making Movies is Hard, if people want to check out that. And we did a lot of behind the scenes on the alternate while we were making it. And I recorded daily logs of making the movie, like from set. Like I would record into my phone, like, this is what we did today on the set. And it went really great. And it was like, this is how we overcame these problems. And, there's like 8 or 10 episodes of the show that are all dedicated to the alternate that you can find on the website. So
that's awesome. All right, great. Is there anything else that you both wanted to add?
I'll just say, like, I really enjoyed making this movie. It's a lot of fun, and it's been really great to see people responding to it and digging the trailer and hopefully watching the movie. So yeah, I would really urge you to go out and check it out if you can, and let me know what you think. Find me on social media. Tell me if you dug it. Did you hate it? Did you like it? I'd love to know. So open invitation to find me and pester me.
Absolutely. And I would just say, support independent filmmaking. I've produced over 20 movies. This is probably the lowest budget movie I've ever done. And a lot of people have a lot of sweat equity into it. And we've won, 17, 18 festivals. So
yeah,
it's had a great run.
Congrats.
Yeah, we won a lot of awards and played 24 film festivals around the world. And yeah, it's been quite an honor to have so many people watch it, just in its festival run. So
awesome. Well, thank you both for chatting with me. Once again, congratulations. And I loved the film. So there's my review.
Thank you so much,
awesome.
Beth.
Thanks, Beth.